Hi everybody, welcome back. My name's Claire. I'm going to do another rainbow pour, surprise, surprise. I did recently, this one up here, just above my head. I did it, it was with a template, a 3D printed template from a company called Pour Away Fluid Arts. I'm going to reuse the template. I'm going to do another rainbow in a really similar way, but instead of the individual spots of colours, I'm going to do 3 wandering straight pours. So one with red, orange and yellow, one with greens and blues, one's with pinks and purples. So 3 pours in the 3 spirals in the template. So really similar theme, but totally different. So I cannot wait to get started. So here are all the colours that I'm going to use for the rainbow. I've tried to go for relatively light colours. Apart from that red looks really dark at the moment. Actually, and the purple does. I've tried to avoid the really dark. There's no really dark purple or really dark blue. So I wanted to go for a bit lighter. So if you're interested to know what I'm using, I have Amsterdam Primary Yellow, Ultramarine Violet Light, Sky Blue Light, Persian Rose, Carmine, what's that? Pyrrole Red, Manganese Blue Phthalo, 3 Pebeo Studio Acrylics colours, Orange Yellow, Green Yellow and Blue Green, and they're all iridescent colours. And then over here, 3 Daler Rowney colours, so Metallic Pink, Emerald Green and Velvet Purple. So they're all mixed with PVA glue and water pouring medium. The pouring medium I'll show you. In fact, I mix it into this big bottle here, which used to have fabric conditioner in. And that's 2 parts PVA glue to 1 part water. And then the paints that I've mixed here, I have mixed 3 to 2. So 3 parts 3 parts pouring medium to 2 parts paint. So just for example, there was... it was 90 grams of pouring medium, 60 grams of paint, and that gives me quite a nice thick consistency, but it pours nicely. I don't want it to be too thick, but I want it to be reasonably thick so that it holds its shape well. First thing I need to do then is just to layer up some cups of paint. Now I'm really struggling to know how much paint to use. I'm using a 30 centimetre square canvas, but I'm just at a bit of a loss on how much paint to use. This is the template I'm going to be using. So there are 3 spirals in this template. So one will be the reds and oranges, one will be the blues and greens, and one will be the pinks and purples. So I'm just trying to picture how much of each colour or each cup I'm going to need, and I just can't work it out. Because it's so intricate, I'm going to be using tiny little paper cups, because then I can pinch them and then hopefully pour them quite nicely, instead of using some big chunky cup. So I think what I'm going to do to start with is layer up 2 of these cups per group of colours. And then if it's not enough, I can just simply mix some more, because I've got lots of paint here. I've mixed more paint than I need because I want to use this for something else. So before I layer the cups, I do just like to check the consistency, and I obviously just want to make sure the consistencies are all about the same. See, the iridescents are always thicker, and I've already added water to this to try and thin it, but I can still feel it's slightly thicker than the others. So just add a little bit more water. So while I layer these, I'm going to try and do really quite thin layers, because this is going to be such a fine straight pour. I think the thinner layers will work better, because then you'll get more variation in the colour. So I'm just dribbling a layer of each colour on top of the last. I've decided to pour this on my cake turntable. So I've put my push pins in the back, just placing it on my cake turntable. I'll keep it roughly in the centre, and then I've put my template on top. Now, a problem that I had last time was that there were some gaps underneath, so it doesn't sit totally flush to the canvas. So last time I put a base coat on to try and stick it down, but that actually encouraged the paint to go underneath. So I contacted the company who provided me with the template, and they just said, actually just spray the back of the canvas, or someone said spray the back of the canvas so it's tight, which I've done, and then just keep the paints thick and just pour straight on. So I'm hoping that because this pour will be a lot quicker than the other one where I put individual dots on. It took me ages. I'm hoping I can get all the colours on before they start to seep underneath. I'm using the cake turntable because I just think it'll be easier. So I'm going to start in one place and then should I start at the outside? This was the other question I had. Do I start at the outside or do I start at the inside? I'm going to start in the middle. So let's get the first colour. I'm just going to pinch the cup to create a little funnel. Right, two things. Not happy with it at all, and it's seeping under the edge. So I'm stopping. Right, I've put 4 little pots of paint on, and that seems to be contacting in most places now. So I think I'm going to pour this and just move things around as I do it. So this list must look really odd. But I think if I can just move them around as I'm pouring, I think I can make it work. Also, I think I'm going to go for a slight circular motion, a slight ring pour. So that's all my colours down. There's a really obvious problem with this in that I can see the paint is at different levels. So as soon as I take this up, it's going to move. So it's not going to be this beautiful spiral because I haven't been able to control the amount of paint and get it equal in all 3 of the spirals. So there's not that much I can do about it now, I don't think. So I think I'm just going to have to go with it, lift it up, just, yeah, see what happens. So here it goes. Right, that hasn't worked at all well. So it created a sort of suction with the paint. So as I lifted it, it's pulled the paint across. This bit's perfect, this bit's not. Okay, so next thing I'm going to try is drawing a stick through it. So what a total roller coaster this has been. Potentially, I think I really like it. I'm happy with it, but I think it was essential to come in and create some wiggly waves. So I've feathered it with a wiggly line, and I created the boundary between the colours wiggly, because it was really obvious to me that the lines just wouldn't stay in the beautiful curves. There's no way they would stay. So I've deliberately skewed them, deliberately wiggled them, so that I'm just hoping I can then, this technique, I can pull it off. I think if I hadn't done that, it would look so distorted when it's dry. I don't think it would work. So I've almost kind of enhanced the distortion that's going to happen as this dries by creating all these wiggly lines. The colours are beautiful. The colours, you can't see the colours as much as I was hoping. So the orange, for example, the reds here, you can't really see the yellow, apart from where I started another cup here. So you've got some orange around the edge, but I obviously layered it differently, so it's different from the centre. You've got a bit of yellow in there. But maybe that just adds to it, the abstractness of it. Where the colour fell over the top of the other colours, by doing these wiggly lines, I think it's distracted from that a little bit. So it's definitely muddied there where the colour sort of collapsed over the top of the green. But actually, because I've done these wiggly lines now, it just doesn't seem to matter as much. Also, because I feathered it, I've pulled the paint through, so there's it's not such a stark transition where I've started a new cup. It happened there as well. I think that was the end of a cup, and then that was the beginning of a new cup. So by feathering it and pulling the paint through, I'm just hoping that that kind of all blends in. So yeah, really mixed feelings. This could dry badly because of the so much paint on this canvas, but time will tell. I'm so relieved. It's actually dried really well. The lines aren't perfect, but they haven't distorted that much at all. I am so relieved. I almost imagined the spiral would be totally skewed as it dried and moved, but no, you can quite clearly see the spiral still. One thing I hadn't realised really until I stopped filming and I looked back was I actually love how you've got these different shades within one colour. So the darker blues, then a different green, and then the blues. So I really like having the different effects of the yellow. So it's not just one continuous swirl and spiral in each colour, but there's just variation between each of the spirals. One thing I had to do, you'll see this edge here. If I show you the very edge, it looks a little bit different. So what had actually happened here, the blue and green had poured off over the edge and over the edge there. So you had this massive thick part here of the blue and the green, and I could not get past it. I couldn't leave it. My eye was drawn to it. It looked awful. So I've just hand painted a red wiggly line on there and around the corner. So it doesn't match, but I don't think it stands out too much. And I just feel like it's easier to look at this painting. It's not, my eye is not drawn over here now, it's drawn everywhere. So I had to do that because I could not get past that big fat edge hanging off over the side. So if I show you up close, so happy with that feathering. Just love how when you pull the colours through themselves, you just get such a pretty design. Really happy with the centre, how that's come together. Yeah, overall really happy, and the edges just work so nicely because you can see the colour just falls over the edges beautifully. So yeah, really happy. Really wasn't sure how this one would pan out, whether it would be going in the bin or keeping, and I'm happy to say I'm keeping it or selling it. So thank you so much for watching. Please just leave me any comments you have. If you've had any thoughts about the process, how I could do things better, any thoughts about the templates. Yeah, please let me know what you think. Do hit the thumbs up button if you like it. Great, thanks so much for watching. Bye.